Latest we can cross now live to our correspondent in Jerusalem, Noga Tarnopolsky. Noga, tell us more about, firstly, Marco Rubio's state visit.
Well, it's not formally a state visit. Under Joe Biden, these visits from Secretary of State at the time, Blinken, were very, very common, and they tended to be full of meetings with the U.S. very actively engaged here. Marco Rubio apparently had just one event yesterday, to my knowledge, this meeting, kind of a spiritual thing at the Western Wall with Prime Minister Netanyahu. We know of no other work-related meetings that he may have had yesterday. This morning, in about 2 hours, he is scheduled to formally meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu, and they're scheduled to make a statement after that. So we may have more information then, but for now, the assumption is that the two principal subjects on the table, apart from this, I think now very troublesome Qatar strike that Israel undertook last week, the two principal subjects are supposed to be, we think they will be, whether Donald Trump will continue to give Prime Minister Netanyahu a free hand for whatever he wants to do in expanding the war in Gaza, and secondly, the no less thorny problem of the West Bank. The Israeli government has announced that it basically, in not so many words, is declaring sovereignty over the West Bank, the heart of the future state of Palestine, possibly by a construction project that the Prime Minister signed off on just on Friday. The United States here has two very conflicting interests. One is the belief of American Ambassador Mike Huckabee here and much of Donald Trump's evangelical Christian base in the United States that Israel has a God-given right to all of this land. That is a major precept of many of Donald Trump's followers. On the other hand, as we just heard from President Trump, Qatar is a very close ally. The Gulf states in general are close and important allies of the United States. And today marks 5 years since Donald Trump's most important foreign policy achievement as a first-term president. Today marks 5 years since the signing of the Abraham Accords, the first normalization accords between Israel and any of these Gulf Emirates, including the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, that has said clearly that if Israel takes any steps towards declaring sovereignty or annexation over the West Bank, it will have violated those accords. So all of that is expected to be on the table.
Okay, and indeed that summit in Qatar might be also the one to keep our eyes on, Noga. But it doesn't look, going into these meetings, it doesn't look like Israel has any intention on stepping back on its ultimate goal. I mean, it's once again, saying it's only going to intensify its bombings, notably on Gaza City, on those trapped people, Palestinians there.
Yes, Prime Minister Netanyahu has made it clear that the full-bore invasion of Gaza City, its takeover, is absolutely imminent. For now, Israel continues, as you say, intensifying its bombing over Gaza City. Yesterday, 4 high-rises were brought down by Israeli strikes. In one case, at least, it was an Israeli, the implosion of a building at the Islamic University. But, you know, we just don't know. No schedule has been made public. There's been speculation in Israel that the ground invasion could start even while Marco Rubio is still here. He'll be here at least till tomorrow, but we don't know. It is expected to begin sometime this week, in the incoming week, with Israel beginning a massive operation within the Gaza Strip aimed at taking over Gaza City.